there. In this short video, I will be sharing a few tips how to be successful as a car seller. So in other words, how to speak with the customer, how to listen what the customer wants to tell us, what questions to ask, what questions should never be asked, how to build the trust with the potential customer, and actually actively listening what the customer wants to tell us. So before we get there, let me introduce myself. My name is Jacek Chmielecki and I have like a 20 years experience in sales, trainings and customer support. So I have been running the sales organization like Cisco, SAP, Microsoft, Juniper. I always have been running the operation customer support centers for such organizations like Google, G2A, which is e-commerce platform. And I have my training company for 6 years. So that's all about me. Now let's get into the details of selling and the certain tips. So let me start from the first one. Everyone knows the communication iceberg. So on top you have the very easy to recognize aspects like those which you can observe. So you can see behavior, you can see the language which has been used. So you see the tone of voice, you see the facial expressions, dress. Yes, that's everything is important, but it's only 20% of the communication which is going through. And then everyone knows that under the water there's much bigger part of the iceberg itself. So you have emotions. Emotions are selling. Emotions are creating a decisions to buy or not to buy. Now, feelings. And then you have a certain personality. Every customer has her own or his own personality. Now, we have certain beliefs as a customer, certain norms in which we behave. And we have the perception. So sales is all about building trust, but how to build the trust? That's a key question. So there are 4 fundamental statements, fundamental steps. Number 1, know me. So you need to introduce. Then the second one is like me. And then it's a trust me step. And only then is a payment and pay me. So many salespeople are confusing the first step with the last one. So they say, okay, here I am and pay me. No, that's not the way how it should be conducted. So let me share a few tips for the car salesman. So starting from the first one, great opening. Yes, it is important. So what about if someone would say, welcome in the Nissan showroom. My name is Jacek Chmielecki and I have 10 experience of selling car. What the customer will answer, thank you for welcoming me. Now, if you compare that with the standard way how usually people are doing, saying, how can I help you? And then what the customers do, they run away. They simply run away because they don't know what to say. So they are not feeling comfortable. The second thing is building rapport. Building rapport means behaving in the similar way how the customer behaves. If the customer speaks very fast, then we speak very fast. If the customer speaks slowly, we do speak slowly with him or with her as well. And that has more aspects into it about the building rapport. Now, active listening. So we have 2 years and 1 month. And as a salesman, we should use it in that proportion. So we need to actively acknowledge what the customer is saying to let him know or let her know that we are actually listening. We need to search and find. Once we search, we will find the answer for the key questions which are important for us. And then, if you are uncertain what the customer meant, let's clarify that. Let's make sure that we really can clarify and we fully understand what the customer meant by saying certain things. Do not make the assumption, because assumptions are the path to the wrong direction. And then The third technique is the power of choice. So customer wants to have a choice. But if you give too much choice, then suddenly the customer will be overwhelmed with what to choose. And if we have too many options, what to choose from. That's why the power of choice is very important, and the choice should be limited. So in other words, would you like to have that car or that car? The wrong question would be, which car would you like to drive? So rather, would you like to drive this car or that car? Which one is the more appealing to you? So this is the power of choice. Contracting, that's the fourth technique. Contracting, so we need to contract what we said. So we can say to the customers, can we agree that we sign the transaction in 2 weeks' time, or whatever you want to say, but can we agree? And if the customer says yes, that's a contracting, then we get the commitment. Now, fifth technique is about the reversal. So who is leading the conversation in the meeting? That one who is asking, or that one who is answering? Of course, that one who is questioning, who is asking questions. So let's make sure that we use it in the proper form, that it will not be only in the position when we answer the customer questions. Let's ask him or her questions, because then we know what our unique selling points we should emphasize, what we should tell the customer, because we don't want to come with the long-lasting spreadsheet of the features and benefits and how fast the car is going. Remember, emotions are buying, not spec tech. And let's go to the sixth one. Let's have a drive with a customer. Absolutely, the customer seeing is believing, so the customer would like to have a drive. However, that drive should be well prepared. So it's not like, okay, let's have a drive, but let's get certain commitments, what we want to achieve by having that drive, and then evaluate that drive right after the ride. Now, the sixth one, objection handling. The seventh one, never guess if they can afford it. It is very important. So we should never ever guess if that customer is able to afford that car, because we don't know, but we have a tendency to judge him by by the look, by the behavior, by the way of speaking. But it doesn't mean that he has or she has the money to buy a car, or she has ability to take a loan to buy a car, or she has a company to take a lease to buy a car. And the last one is closing the deal. Now, closing the deal is very important, because it's good that we have a nice ride, we have a very good interactions. Absolutely, that is good, because we build the trust. However, if we don't close the deal, the money will not come to our account. So it's important to close the deal. Now, what if you would ask the question, do you want to put standard 10% of the down payment or more in order to lower the financing? Sometimes the salesman is asking, okay, how much money would you like to put down? No, that's a wrong question. Ask, would you like to put X amount, 10% in our example, or more, to lower the total cost of the financing of the car. So that's it about those few techniques which I would like to share in that video. Of course, on the training, in the face-to-face, when we meet, we will also talk about the techniques, how to get people into the car showroom. Because it's one thing to speak with them when they come, but we also need to make sure that they are coming. So it is very important to cover certain telesales techniques, like how to introduce yourself during the phone conversation, technique of the triple confirmation. So the customer will say yes, 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 and then you can make a proposal and go ahead. What script to use? But okay, that is gonna come during the face-to-face training. So to summarize, the key aspects of the selling, there are 4 steps. The first step is to know me. The second one is to like me. The third one is to trust me. And only 4th is to pay me. And that's what I wish you a lot. The customers, I wish you that the customers will pay you often and a lot. Thank you very much. Jacek Chmielecki.